I'm very excited for my episode today. This movie that I will be discussing is one of my favorite Alfred Hitchcock movies. Alfred Hitchcock has made so many fantastic films, films that have gone on to inspire films still today and how films have been made. Alfred Hitchcock is a genius, and if you haven't seen any of his work, you really are missing out. And I don't. It's hard for me to comprehend when somebody doesn't like Alfred Hitchcock, because he's blows my mind with his work. He really does. He's had such. I mean, there's classics that are still talked about today: North by Northwest, Psycho, Birds, Rear Window, Strangers on a Train. These movies are classics. These movies are studied in film classes and studied by people all over the place. And it's unfortunate that the movie I will be discussing today, Rope, which was released in 1948, does not receive as much praise as some of the other movies, because this movie is crazy. I remember the first time I watched it all by myself. And it's Alfred Hitchcock, so there's not jump scares. He's very good at like the psychological horror of things. He allows things to build up, and there's scenarios or situations that are more likely to happen, which makes it scary. These things could actually happen. Rope is the story of two friends who decide to commit the perfect murder. The movie opens up actually to us witnessing the very end of that murder. The credits roll, and we cut to this, or we move to this window, and you're sitting there for a few seconds, and then you just hear this blood-curdling scream. And then we jump to inside this apartment where you see these two men, one holding the man and the other has got a rope around his neck, just choking him out. And you're like, what the heck? At least that's how I reacted the first time I saw it. And then they hide the body in the apartment, and they have decided that they have committed the perfect murder, and to better boost their morale, they are throwing a party that will be happening in about 20 minutes or so from when they just murdered this man. And the man's name was David. It was a friend of theirs from college. And they've invited his fiance, his dad, his aunt. They've invited another one of their college friends and one of their college, and their like professor, who was good friends with all of them. And they're particularly excited about their professor, who's played by the very talented Jimmy Stewart, because if I remember correctly, he's like a philosophy teacher, and he was really inspired them, particularly about this idea, and so they're really excited to have him over and even see if he can catch them. So. All these people come over, and David is supposed to be there, but is not, and nobody knows where he is. Nobody can get a hold of him. And as the night goes on, there's one of the killers is on edge the whole night and just kind of panicking, and the other one it's creepy how he just acts as if nothing has even happened, that what happened before was perfectly normal, and that everything's okay. And so you watch the evening play out as conversations hint towards the fact that David might be dead, or how would you commit the perfect murder? And it's very inventive how the film is plays out. And what I mean by that, that's the plot. I'm not going to go too much further, because I highly recommend this to anybody, especially any Alfred Hitchcock fan. Alfred Hitchcock only had 10 cuts in the whole movie. and 5 of them were quick cuts. So you'd be somewhere and then bam, it would, quickly cut to somebody else. And then 5 of those were, they were trying to make it seem that the film was one long continuous take. So what would happen is the camera, as they were running out of time on the film they had, they would just bring the camera up to maybe the back of somebody's coat, or the back of somebody, and then it would stop there for a second, it would be black, and then they would move upward. So it acted like the camera was just taking a weird V-U shape and then back to where they were. And so what was creative about it is that they made the film seem like it was one long continuous take. And each of these film rolls, ran for probably, 12, 13 minutes. The movie's about 80 minutes long, so it's not terribly long. It might even less than that, I would guess. But they would do one long continuous take. And so if anybody screwed up, cut. We have to start all the way back over, and this film is no good. This reel we just created is no good at all. And so they could be, 7, 8 minutes in, almost done with this scene before they jump to the next shot. And if somebody screws up a line, all right, let's head back to the very beginning and do this all over again. And to me, that's, for the time it was made in the 40s, that was so inventive, so creative. I loved the idea of it. Another spectacular thing about this movie is the cast. Oh, the cast was perfect. The two killers, and James Stewart's professor, and everyone just really did a good job at their parts. And you can never go wrong with Jimmy Stewart. And he's got this wonderful monologue at the end where, I was about to just spoil the movie, he's got a wonderful monologue at the end of the movie. And it's very powerful, and you can just feel the passion and the emotion he has within this monologue he's giving. I could go on about Rope. It was truly a creative story. And it was based on a play that was written in 1929. And just the whole idea of, we're going to kill this guy that everybody knows, invite his family, invite his fiancé, his friends, and we're going to see if we can have a polite evening and get away with the fact that we murdered him. And he's sitting here in the room, and the murder weapon is out in plain sight. Hence the title Rope. It's a fantastic story, and it's one that has always intrigued me, and one that I would be fascinated to see it on the stage as well. This is one of my all-time favorite Alfred Hitchcock movies. I really do recommend this to anybody who loves Alfred Hitchcock, who loves a good thriller, suspense. Somebody who doesn't really want so much of a jump scare. Someone who's not really looking for a scary movie, but just kind of like a psychological scare in a way. Check this out. Really, it's a wonderful movie. Like It's a Wonderful Life with Jimmy Stewart as well. Anyways, thank you for watching. I really do hope that you go out and check this movie. I recommend it highly to anybody. And if you've seen it, I'd love to hear what your thoughts. And if you haven't seen it, check it out. And then please come share your thoughts. I want to hear if you loved it, if you hate it, if you thought it was okay, whatever you think. So, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.